Tired of big tech clashing with your Catholic values? Fide Chat is now live on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. It's private, encrypted, and built by Catholics for Catholics, with features like parental controls and more. Connect securely with family, friends, and groups. Download Fide Chat at fide.email. Technology without compromise.
We haven't checked in with the church in Germany in a while. It's perhaps time that we do. Headline from katholisch.de, the official news arm of the German Bishops' Conference. Strange, Pastor. Those who think in black and white never see the rainbow. There is some Wizard of Oz imagery going on there. It really is. It's like, if you remember that film, Dorothy goes through the tornado, comes out the other side, and sees the world in Technicolor, bright, vibrant colors. This is the kind of image I get when I hear this language from these men. Now, this man here is not a Catholic priest, but that's the German Bishops' Conference official news website. Any opinion they publish there is the one they are endorsing unless they give an explicit statement to the otherwise. And they didn't do that. They didn't publish anything with that article. They just published it. He's speaking in a way that they agree with. From the article, quote, the shift to the right in society, meaning this pastor, quote unquote, is noticing that across the West there is a political shift towards the political right, and this has concerned a lot of people. The shift to the right in society, less support and a new pope. Strange, people don't have it easy in society. And the challenges of the church aren't diminishing either. What's the current state of affairs? Priest Franz Herrant is the director of the Rainbow Pastoral Austrian, has created the label Accepting and Open. So I'm wrong, he's not a Protestant. When I read this, I thought he was a Protestant, but no. Through which Catholic institutions and parishes can commit to an open stance. In this interview, he talks about slow progress, but also fear. So what this person is, he's the Austrian equivalent, essentially, of the Association of United States Catholic Priests. They're a heterodox organization that operates in the U.S., hence the name, that promotes essentially the teachings that are contrary to the faith and morals of the Catholic Church. And yet the priests who are members of that remain in good standing in their dioceses. Rarely are they silenced. It makes you wonder why. And remember, the Vatican went out of its way to silence Bishop Strickland, went out of their way to make sure that, at least in Chicago, Cardinal Cupich canceled Father Kalchik for standing against this stuff, and on and on and on it goes. Father Trejo, you remember these guys? You remember all of them? All of them. They defended the faith in some way or another, sometimes with forceful language, while men like this run roughshod over the church. He's asked what the term label and open means and how has the church changed as it. Here's what he means. With the Accepting an Open label, we've initiated a process whereby parishes and organizations commit themselves to strange, sensitive pastoral care. A few parishes, and especially youth organizations, have used the opportunity to demonstrate the open attitude they have and are implementing. Those parishes and organizations that have engaged in the information and learning process, as well as the commitment to be accepting and open, are thereby presenting themselves more decisively and confidentially. I also know of parishes and church organizations that have at least begun to address the James Martin ideology and different identities of the flesh, to initiate a process of dialogue and thereby cause offense. In the process, the voices for and against have become clearer and more audible. The Accepting an Open label has at least made it a little more visible that the satanic acronym people are not just in the church, but that as baptized and believing people, they are the church, that they have their spiritual home in the church. As brothers and sisters in faith, they are here to stay. So far, the number of parishes doing this have remained small, but we still trust in the trickle-down effect. In Austria, they say good things take time. The voice of church leadership would also be needed. So far, no bishop has publicly commented on the acceptance and opening predicate. I have the impression they're still observing, some even benevolently. End quote. Now, put that in the context of this week. Pope Leo meeting with James Martin and Sister Lucia Karam, cut from the same cloth as that pastor. And you see the consequence. It's like the church is being prepared for something. Before the passing of Pope Francis, I said on this channel something some people objected to. The synodal church will have a James Martin face. Pope Leo on May 8th, at the Loggia, promised to continue the reforms of Pope Francis. He said, we want a synodal church. And unless and until statements condemning James Martin's ideology, getting rid of Cardinal Victor Manuel Fernandez, and not just from his post as the chief for the dicastery of the doctrine of the faith, but from any post in the Roman Curia, and preferably from even any posting in the church of any importance. Until those things happen, the Sister Lucia Carams of the world, until they are essentially canceled, removed from the positions where they could do harm to souls, you have to be left with the conclusion that there are really only a couple of options. One, that Pope Leo is trying to be everything to everybody, and so he can't stop these grave offenses. Or he's on the same page as them. The other option doesn't work. Why would he give personal audiences and try to sweep some of them under the rug to these horrifying individuals and allow this stuff to happen, including this Jubilee pilgrimage to Rome? We need to face the reality. The things are not going to get better, and in some ways they're going to get worse because Pope Leo has a much better personality than Francis. It's as just observing people's reaction to the news as it's come from Rome since May 8th. It does seem that many people recognized how dangerous Pope Francis was because of his personality and not because of the things he did. It was essentially that he was mean. John Henry Weston said it, mentioned this yesterday in my live stream, that the most dangerous outcome for the church at the conclave would have been somebody who could finish the work of Francis but do so with a much better personality. That may be where we are. I'm curious what you think about this, so let me know in the comments, please. Please pray for that pastor I spoke about. Pray for Pope Leo. I'm not here to make you mad at them. They do that themselves with their actions. Pray for them. Salvation of souls is the first law of the church. It's the most important thing we do in this life. How many great graces can be showered upon somebody through an organized prayer campaign for them? And as always, like I say, pray for the church. I'm Anthony Stine. Ave Maria.